The mental load is a word that triggers people. It makes them feel all sorts of way, but the mental load of motherhood is a very real thing. There's a constant running checklist, typically in mothers' heads, about all the things their kids need. The project that's due next week, the clothes they need in their cubbies, whether or not they have a dentist appointment coming up, what camps are they going to this summer? Do they need to go to the after-school program next year? When do we register for that? Did I bring money for pizza for school next Friday? What do my kids need and when do they need it? It is this running checklist, and that's just the kids. That doesn't even include all the things that the house needs and the home and the functioning of your family, right? Like, the list is never ending. It is remembering and knowing and doing all the things that your family needs. It's knowing that there's a birthday party next week and you need to buy a present for that friend. And oftentimes when moms talk about the mental load, they are accused of complaining, and the solution they're presented with is always just to do less. Just do less. But what's the thing they're supposed to drop, right? Like, you're not going to drop the dentist or the doctors or the school project. So then you drop the fun stuff, the stuff that you actually want to do with your kids. You want your kids to be able to go to their friends' birthday parties. You want your kids to have play dates. You want your kids to go to camp because they're going to have a good time. You are told to drop those things instead of people saying, how can I help? Can I take things off your plate? What can be my job? That is probably one of the most frustrating things about the mental load conversation, is because it is real. The mental load is real, and everybody has a mental load. But the mental load of motherhood can feel truly exhausting because it's about all these little people, and they're not just your people. But oftentimes moms are the ones tasked with the responsibility of knowing and doing everything for those kids. And even if they're not the one taking them to the doctor's appointment, they're the one who filled out the forms, called and booked the appointment, and made sure it was in the calendar, right? It is exhausting. And so I encourage you, if your partner comes to you and says, I'm struggling with all of the things that I have to know and I have to do and I'm in charge of, instead of telling them to stop doing them, maybe take an inventory and say, how can I help? What can be mine? How can I participate in this home so that way she's not carrying this load alone, and that our kids can still have all of those things that are required, but also fun and that make a childhood enjoyable.